Welcome back. My guest is a tight end for the New Orleans Saints. He scored the go-ahead touchdown for the Saints' Super Bowl win over the Colts. Jeremy Shockey joins me. Jeremy, nice to have you. How are you?
It's beautiful, beautiful afternoon in New Orleans. How's LA treating you, buddy?
Man, it's doing great. Really nice out here. Nice to see you repping the U. Let me first ask you that. What was it like to get down to Super Bowl and get to go back to the facility, work out with Jonathan Vilma, a former teammate there, who's a teammate right now, and get ready for the Super Bowl while getting your work in at the U?
It was a dream. Obviously, being around any guys that went to UM and practicing against those guys every day and just being in that environment, it's obviously a great feeling, and it was very special being in Miami. It felt like a welcome home party, and that's my adopted home, and I just can't say enough good about Miami, but it doesn't compare to your big city, LA, huh?
Nah, nothing does. Nothing does. Hey, what did you tell your teammates before that game, the week leading up to the Super Bowl game? You made a statement to your teammates. What did you tell them?
Well, I just basically said, as being in the paparazzi or being in the limelight and looking at all the the negatives and positives, you don't want to be the guy known at the party. You want to be the guy knowing to make the plays on the field. And if we win the game, I'll fly everyone out there and we'll party as much as we could. And a lot of people obviously thought about that and took that as a positive, and it was good because none of us got in trouble. Obviously, we won the game. And it's a great feeling just to know that everyone just knew that just to stay out of the parties, the Playboy parties, all these parties that were getting brought up and throwing everyone's name in.
My man, spoken like somebody who's been to a party or two before.
Just one.
Listen, I would imagine.
Two maybe.
Two maybe. I would imagine it's been a pretty interesting ride, and football is an extremely humbling game. So after everything you've been through, how did it feel to get to the top of the mountain finally and win that ring?
Like you said, it's always good to know you're at the top of the mountain, but it's always a downhill, it's a downhill struggle. And, you don't get younger with this sport, you only get older. And just the satisfaction to be able to play in a big game like that, everyone made big comments about not being able to play in the Super Bowl. Well, yeah, you're disappointed. You're a competitor. You're supposed to be disappointed. You want to play in that game. And you didn't be able to play in that game. Obviously, the second chance is, just God's. It's his world. We're just paying rent here. So it's obviously a very humbling experience, and it was definitely a ride that I will never forget.
You're talking about the Super Bowl where the Giants beat the Pats. I mean, take me back. What was that like not to play in that game and to watch your teammates pull one of the big upsets?
It was a great feeling. Obviously, my teammates pulling a big upset. I mean, I was a part of that team, very close to everyone on that team, and very not satisfied, very you can understand as a competitor, you're a competitor, you have a talk show, and it's a very interesting talk show, and you do a great job with it. You'd understand if, just say you own horses, and if you did, right before the race, your horse wasn't able to run. No DMSO working, nothing. So you'd be very disappointed,
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're happy for your teammates because you've been in the trenches, but that ultimate moment not to be there. And then, Jeremy, when the thing's done and they're showing David Tyree and he's getting all the run, everybody's getting all that attention, and you weren't there, like in the ensuing weeks, what did that feel like?
That was very depressing, I mean, having a broken leg and every time you wake up and stand up, all the blood goes to the broken bones. It was obviously a painful moment. And but you know what? That's what makes you stronger, especially in our game and everyone's game. You got to point out the happy things in life, I just got back from Washington, D.C., seeing the amputees and Walter Reed, and it really puts things in perspective, and our GIs in the Army and everything. So it makes things in perspective, and you're just a small, minute piece in this world.
In fact, tell me about that for a minute. You always hear football is war, football is a battle, but war is war, and football is football. When you go to that hospital and you talk to those guys, what kind of an impact did that have on you?
It just really very humbling. Obviously, those guys are so young, and to see what they've been through, it's tough, and I can't say I didn't, I feel sorry for myself at times, but then I look at these guys that are actually the real heroes, and football's not a war. Football's a sport, as a lot of things are, and people always want to compare it to that because, our nature and everything, but it's definitely a sport, and war is war, and those guys come back from serious wounds. They don't get no broken leg and put a plate in there and come back and play a year later.
All right, so you go to the Saints, you give them an attitude maybe that they did not have before. You get to the Super Bowl, you make the play that puts them ahead for good. That touchdown catch, was there redemption? Was there vindication in that catch?
We try as hard as we can on this team to obviously prepare for for our opponent any which way we can. So we knew we had to have an attitude like that going into the game. I was going into the game as if it was my last game, because you never really know as free agency or anything this year as far as how crazy the salary cap is, or what kind of obviously there's no kind of cap next year after this. So I was going into a game as this is going to be my last, and I was fortunate enough to make a play to help our team win. And I'm telling you, the city of New Orleans, I tell you, it's a great experience to be a part of something that has never been here before. And I tell you, all the New Orleans people they accepted it with open arms, and I tell you, they're still partying right now.
Hey, Jeremy, you tweeted out your appearance on this show today. Thanks for that. Good looking out. Also, you had a promotion on Facebook, which I thought was really interesting. You said that you wanted to meet a woman and spend some time with her, and you encouraged them to send videos.
I didn't say that.
Yeah? Okay, now, but who did you pick? It's really interesting. Who did you end up picking?
I picked a 12-year-old kid. His name's Tyler. He's from boy. It wasn't a meeting a woman. It was for a charity here, and it was a kid from Mississippi that lost his father, and it was for all charity things. So I think a lot of people took that out of perspective, and it wasn't really thought of as, everyone says come win a date. I should have said meet and greet, because there was a bunch of girls that sent some things in. Not that obviously that. This thing was about charity, and it's who's the biggest Saints fan, and Tyler definitely won it. He's from Mississippi. God bless his father, and I guarantee he's going to have a good time, and we're going to get some tickets and set him up really nice here.
That's nice. All right, so you set the record straight there. It used to be that everybody was going out of their way to maintain their privacy. Now everybody's going out of their way to connect with everybody else. Why do you like social networking? What do you use it for?
I can use it for multiple charity things. Anything I can do to help the community, or as far as, as our team or anything. If you don't do it, there's someone going to be copying you and copyright your name, and you'll be one of the victims that, I thought this is him, or, this or that. So you might as well just open up an account on Twitter or Facebook and make it your real fan page. All the players listening out there, because someone will hack you and act like they're you, and next thing you know, you'll have 20, 30, bills at your house that it should not have been you from magazine or whatever. You
make sure it's verified. Hey, Jeremy, glad you came on the show.
Right.
Glad we came together. Thanks a lot.
Jim.
Good luck. Do it again soon.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
You got it. When we come back, we've got a lot more to get to.